because there is very exciting news today in the world. Donald J. Trump, the 45th president of the United States, I don't even fucking know. He was today convicted of 34 felony charges for money laundering in regards to him fucking Stormy Daniels in the middle of the 2016 campaign. So if you don't know, Donald Trump paid Stormy Daniels $250,000 to fuck her while he was campaigning for president. And he used campaign funds to pay for it. Or rather, he had his lawyer at the time, Michael Cohen, use campaign funds to pay for it. Which is a pretty big, SEC violation. That's somewhat illegal. But the media has instead chosen to talk about the fact that Donald Trump did not wear a condom while he fucked Stormy Daniels. And that he apparently, just seemed disinterested in court. I've talked about this before. But the important news is that he has been convicted. Which means, chat, we are one step closer to what I have been predicting all along. I've literally been saying this is going to happen for over a year straight. Which I think that Trump is going to, what I would always say is Trump's going to be convicted, check. He's going to be sentenced, happening in July before even he gets the fucking nomination, check. He's going to be put in prison, and then he's going to win the presidency from prison, which is something that outside of I forget that socialist running in like 1914 or whatever, has never happened before. No one's ever been close to winning from prison before. But I have an even crazier theory, where I'm sure other people have talked about the fact that Trump can win from prison. Okay. But I have an even crazier theory, which is Trump is not only going to win from prison, and he can pardon himself for the felonies or get out of jail. He's going to manage to get out of jail for the federal crimes once he wins. But what could certainly happen, and there is a historical precedence for this to happen within presidential history, even in modern, or at least somewhat modern American history, Trump could be charged with a state crime in which he is convicted and sentenced to jail time, and he would be unable to pardon himself for such a crime. Meaning that there is a realistic situation in which Donald Trump is the president of the United States, but also simultaneously an inmate in a state penitentiary. With not a short sentence too. He's going to be in there for his whole term. We're going to have a whole presidency of a prisoner president. That could literally this is if I was in Vegas right now, I wouldn't say this is necessarily likely to happen, but we got at least 30-40% odds of this happening. At this point, I think my odds are fucking looking great for this prediction. Honestly, for how long I've been holding this one and fucking committing to it, that this is going to happen, that Trump's going to win from jail, I honestly think that we're there. We are there, fellas. Because what? Biden's going to win? No. They're going to pull Biden and replace him with someone that wins? No. Not fucking happening. So what are our options? Our options are fucking prisoner president. We got a prisoner president incoming, which honestly is a fucking sitcom. I was hoping to pitch it or at least write a pilot for it as a sitcom, because the concept of a prisoner president is just amazing sitcom material, in the sense that you have endless plot where you can explore all the elements of what it's like to being a prisoner and the politics of being a prisoner in each episode, and then simultaneously you have a real world government problem in each episode. So it would be endless A/B plots. You have a prison problem, Trump's Secretary of Defense, Big Mike, got shanked in a prison fight and he's out of commission, but he was supposed to be on calls in negotiations with the North Koreans, and there's a bunch of people in suits in Washington that were expecting Big Mike to be present in meetings and shit. And now he's not there. So Trump needs a last-minute replacement. But he can't conduct interviews with the outside world. All he has are access to the people around him. And you know how this fucker is. Like, he is so heavily influenced by the people around him that Trump's on TV like, yo, shout out the Crips, honestly, good people, Bloods, not the kind of people you'd mess with, you know, not my kind of folks. I think that, you know, honestly, I wouldn't be with him on the yard. I would not be with him on the yard, because who knows what happens? Anything can happen out on the yard, you know. Suddenly guards look the other way and somebody's getting stabbed. But it's just endless. Okay, this is just pure fucking content. So I'm excited. I'm hopeful. I didn't even want to stream today, to be honest. I had a long ass day at work, but being here with you guys, no one, honestly, is giving me a little burst of energy. So I've got a couple things lined up for today. Obviously, we're gonna do the cheese at the end, but I just want to transition. Let's just go through the highlights. Let's watch the moment on Fox News where it was announced that Donald Trump was found guilty.
Side say that the jury is back in the room, that Judge Merchan is back on the bench. And so we are looking now, it looks like we have some of the verdicts coming in. It is quickly coming in here. From inside, we are starting to hear that there are guilty. There are guilty verdicts. Cheering. From our producer inside, we're hearing guilty on 1 through 5. 1 through 12, we have now 13, 14 guilty.
Like at a fucking auction.
15 guilty. You may hear there are a split of folks here.
15, 16. Can I hear 17? Can I hear 17? Can I hear 20?
Some cheers, some boos.
Can I hear 20? 20. We got boos, we got cheers. 25, 26.
We're up to 18 counts, 19 guilty. Remember, we have 34 here, 20 guilty. And again, these counts were very similar. What they were looking at, it was different occurrences.
Run it up, run it up, run up the charges. Run it up, run it up, run up the charges. Run it up, run it up, run up the charges.
We are now 24 counts in, all guilty from inside.
24 counts.
Producers up to 26.
26.
Now remember, each of these counts could maximum have 4 years in jail.
Maximum 4 by 26.
Considered a first-time offender.
4
These
by
are
26. You dead. You dead.
So it seems that it is unlikely the judge would sentence him to prison, but we are now up to 31 counts guilty out of 34.
Why does that seem unlikely?
Guilty, also
because it's
nonviolent. Inside the courtroom, our producers now saying 33
have you heard of the war on drugs?
People
go to. I mean, presidents charges. Never go to prison because the job of being a president is to be a signatory on the state crimes of the American government. That's what the entire job of being the president is. You don't lead the country when you're the president. You are a cultural face of the propaganda in the face of the nation, but your main job in terms of the state function is that you sign off on the crimes. When someone's going to do a fucking drone strike that might kill civilians, it might be illegal, you're the one that signs off on it and says it's okay. And because you have legal immunity, because of the fact that you're the president, that means that you're kind of protected to be able to do that in a way that no one else is. So that's what the job of the president is. Conflict or confusion or questions the jury had, they got that information back to them this morning, and by the end of day 2 of deliberations, we're at 34 guilty counts for the former president of the United States. I just had to spit a little bit there. Here. Hey, click here. Hey, Sean Hannity here. No, listen, I will not be clicking anywhere, Mr. Sean Hannity. You can fuck off. All right. So that was a beautiful moment where we got to see just the counts being riled in, the cheers. I'm sure it's a happy night in New York City tonight. I'm sure the people are celebrating like mad. Honestly, I'm sure a lot of people are celebrating. I'm sure my liberal family members are just losing their fucking minds. I honestly haven't talked to them about it yet. But now let's take a look at Trump's reaction to his conviction, or his statement about it. Mr. Trump, how does it feel being a convicted felon? Are you worried about going to jail?
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people.
That's a real crazy statement.
Everybody knows what happened here.
Honestly, that's so ominous. This is really ominous.
The whole thing, we didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end and we'll win. Because our country's gone to hell.
Look at this guy fucking nodding in the background. Bald head to his to Trump's right, our left.
Serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country.
And this guy behind him has like the
from prisons
just weirdest face ever. Get the fuck out of the shot, bro. Just trying to like name drop himself as the lawyer. Just kind of trying to gain some clout right now.
This was a rigged decision right from day one, with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Why should voters vote for convicted felons?
Damn. Of course he's not gonna fucking drop out. Did you just hear what this guy just said? He literally just said the real judgment will be on November 4th or November 5th. Like or the real jury. Like this is. It's, you know what's crazy is, let me bring up this point and get my thoughts together. So, you know how normally American presidential elections tend to start like a year to a year and a half before the actual election, in terms of when it becomes like a daily media talking point thing. And have you noticed that this election is the only election in modern history, pretty much since the invention of cable news, where that is not the case? Where cable news is only now starting to talk about the election in like the summer when it's months away, and still they'll barely cover it. Like, mainly they want to talk about this, they want to talk about this trial, or they want to, I don't even know. I don't watch fucking CNN. But my reasoning behind why that is the case, why is it that the media does not want to talk about this election? And you could say that it's that they don't have a lot to say about Joe Biden, which I think is true. But that was also the case with Hillary Clinton, you know, and it was the case with Joe Biden in the 2020 election. So it's not like Joe Biden now is so bad that he would prevent election coverage in a traditional sense. I think that the reason that mainstream media is not doing major election coverage is because they have no fucking idea how they're going to control the narrative. As in, normally, they have a sense of what they have to do. They have a strategy to get people to believe the things that they're going to have to believe to either vote a certain way or not vote at all. And they have a degree of confidence that they can make that happen. You know, for the last fucking 100 years, traditional media, traditional broadcast media has been able to control what people think and how they behave. That's just the nature of the fucking propaganda model. It was invented in the early 1900s, and it's controlled North American society ever since. But I think the election of Donald Trump in 2016, the fact that he was able to win in the first place, was the moment where that ended. It was the moment where the mainstream powered kind of liberal consensus no longer had enough control over the narrative to be able to influence people's behavior enough to get them to do what they wanted. And that was the upset of Trump winning in 2016. And ever since 2016, they have been in pure propaganda panic mode, where they have tried as much as possible to control and manipulate those last aging boomers that still watch MSNBC, CNN, and don't know what TikTok is. Okay? Because that's a really strong voter base for the Democratic Party, especially in primaries. However, now those people are all starting to die. So they're really like I think they're realizing at this point that they're like kind of have nowhere to go. That they're at the end of their run, so to speak. And this last flailing effort that you're going to see in this election is really going to be the fucking nail in the coffin. Because, like I said yesterday, they're going to, kill at TikTok, like they already are trying. Like Instagram, like all of the meta shit, Twitter, like maybe not X because of Elon Musk, but honestly, probably like when the election happens, like the amount of control over information is going to be insane. The mask is going to fully come off, and I don't think anyone's prepared for what's going to happen, and the media doesn't want people to panic. It's going to be so bad that they're not talking about it because it's going to be so bad, like no matter what. Like no matter what happens, it's just going to be awful. Like either Trump wins from prison and then we have a prisoner president, or Biden wins and then like literally half the country just fully does not believe that they live in a democracy anymore. And also they have all the guns and they're fucking insane. Oh, and they're also have been networking themselves in Telegram groups on the and underground encrypted communication networks over the past fucking 3 years because we banned all their thoughts on social media. So like they're going to be able to continue communicating with each other to run resistance efforts. Like we're fucked if they actually activate in a sense, which hopefully they never will. Hopefully they're just a bunch of fat ass fucking racist pieces of shit that are just going to sit around forever. But I wouldn't bet on that, fool me once type of thing. You look at American history, I wouldn't fuck around with that one. But anyway, we've looked at the moment of Trump's conviction. We've looked at his reaction. Now, I want to take a step back. We're gonna go 3 days back in time because I want to honor a guy that I have spent way too much time listening to, even though I actually hate him, who is Tim Pool. I don't know why I listen to Tim Pool sometimes. Sometimes I listen to Tim Pool to fall asleep because like he's so dumb that it's actually kind of like peaceful to listen to him. Like he's so dumb it almost doesn't even make me angry. Like when I listen to like Ben Shapiro or something, like Ben Shapiro's a grifter and like he has horrible beliefs, but like the dude still like went to Harvard and it is at least like intelligent. Like he's not knowledgeable or wise, but like he can probably do math. Like Tim Pool actually has like a fucking room temperature IQ and is like just pure, like he's actually one of the dumbest people that's famous in this whole right wing grifter space. Honestly, like I'm sure there's people that are worse than him, but he's one of the worst ones. But he's been, if I know anything about Tim Pool, I know that he's been like talking shit about not getting a Trump interview for the longest time. Like literally for years. Anytime any other right-wing grifter gets a Trump interview, he always is like, oh, well, Trump never decides to come on my show. Maybe that's for a reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just because like we're not big enough yet. One day, we'll see if the Timcast manages to get there. Like he just is like that. So I know he's just going to be losing his mind over the fact that he managed to get probably one of the last Trump interviews before his conviction. It's only 17 minutes long. I figure, what the fuck? It's probably going to be stupid, but I'm just going to make fun of him the whole time. So, there was like an hour and a half